Once again, just like to all the class 11 students. So in our last session, we have discussed about the concept of the right in a brief, and what is the origin of the concept of the right, and how the right that was emerged in the 1200 have paved the way for the modern right that we enjoy, a modern legal right that we enjoy in almost all the democratic society by these citizens, their respective citizens. Okay, so today we are going to discuss a new topic, that is the importance of the right. So from this topic, I hope that I can make you understand or realize the importance of this right in the Constitution and how it will affect the individuals or the society without these right. Okay, so instead of making all the long list of the benefit to make you realize or understand the importance of the right, we will rather try to understand through a two different story that is based on a real incident. Okay, so the first story is it was in 1982 when India was about to host Asian Games. So as a host, the government of India had to make a necessary arrangement like building a new road, bridges, flyovers. So they had to contact a number of contractors. Okay, so contractors, and they were assigned to make all the necessary arrangement to build the road and flyovers. So these contractors have hired a number of workers to achieve the goal. Okay. So while they were working for the new bridges and roads, some of the social activists have noticed that these workers were kept in a very poor working conditions. And moreover, and these poor workers were, paid less than what they deserve, and less than the minimum wage, or we can say minimal wages that they should get. So they reported this incident, the social activists reported this incident to the Supreme Court, that is the apex court of the India, right? The highest court of India. And later on they have made a decision that every workers should get a minimal wages so that they can prevent any more exploitation of the workers by these contractors. So since then it was made mandatory to all the workers throughout the India to get the minimum wages so that they can prevent any more exploitation, and more they have also made it mandatory to work in a decent working condition. Okay, so in the first story we have noticed that there was an exploitation if there is no right for these workers. Okay, without this right, they would have been, or without that decision of the Supreme Court, it would have been the same cases to, or even now, for all the workers to get exploited by these contractors. Okay. So let's move on to the next story, that is about a person known as Machalal. He was from Assam, and he was arrested for inflicting some injuries on the ground that he might have inflicted some gruesome injuries to other person. So later on, when he was arrested, he was declared as a mentally unstable. That means a person who is declared as a mentally unstable will cease to get a right to stand on a trial. That means he will no longer get a right or chance to prove whether he really have committed the crime or not. Okay, so but while he was in jail, there was a time that one doctor have sent a letter twice to the authority saying that he is fit enough to stand on a trial. But despite of his effort, the authorities have refused to let him stand on a trial and to prove that whether he have done the crime or not. So, so after a many long struggle, but with by these doctors and he by himself, mashallah, later on he was released, and when he was released, he had already reached years. He was 77 years old. That means now he had to spend almost his prime life in the jail, where he didn't get a chance to prove whether he have committed a crime or not. Now, can you imagine in his position? Imagine yourself in his position where you didn't get a chance to prove. Didn't get a chance to prove whether you have committed a crime or not, and moreover, you were also declared as a mentally unstable. Now, that is also a violation of a right of an individual, in which there was a violation of right, and it was inequality. We can say that it was inequality. There was an inequality on the basis that he didn't get a equal opportunity like other person to prove whether he is guilty or not. Okay, so without this right, we can't imagine to live our life in a very dignified and meaningful life, because these rights prevent us from these discrimination and inequality and exploitation. So it is very necessary that we not only have to be aware about this right, but we have to also aware about how these right can affect your life without these right. The topic is fundamental right. Now, I'm sure everyone is quite familiar with this term fundamental right from your previous classes. So these are some of the right which is mentioned in the Constitution and well protected by the Constitution. And these are the rights which ensures, through these rights, which ensures the citizens of the country to lead a meaningful and dignified life. Now, since we have already discussed in our chapter 1, where we have learned that Constitution is a compact of document that comprises of a number of articles. And likewise, the fundamental rights of the Indian Constitution are mentioned in the Article 12 to 35. And these articles are further divided into a number of parts. So the fundamental rights of the Indian Constitution falls in the part 3 of the Constitution and mentioned in the Article 12 to 35. Okay. Now let us first discuss the first right, that is right to equality. Now this is one of the most important right, and the core objective of the main objective of this right is to make sure that everyone should be treated equally. Okay, and the core message of this right is that your caste, your creed, your appearance, and your gender should not be the barrier to the equal opportunity of the life. Okay, so the first in the right to equality, it says that everyone should be treated equally before law. So there is a there should not be any bias when it comes to making a decision on the basis of law. So regardless of whether you are rich or poor, everyone should be or will be treated equally before the law. Therefore, there is a term known as rule of through right to equality, 미 창마 미 순르지네 로 미 간데 로지베네 미디 또이네 충분히네 미디 가스 토이네 모이네 창마로 디나로라 직송지 더레로 어디 지상 저기 디나로라 그래서 디마 보스토 여기가 로니에다 디나로라 there's a lady known as Justice Shia legendary. But the Morano Chashana Kalkidio the Gisedia and she represents the law of the country, and she will not going to discriminate anyone before her because she represents the law. 어쩌죠? 따디나로 뭐란디 미도 저 가야래 디 카르테고는 뭐란디 디나로 순자지네 직송지 따위로 디 미디 추고 있네래 디네 켜와요 뭐다. 라 어선 right to equality through name we it ensures that everyone should be treated equally, because there's a lot of incidents in a history that people were the rich people gets leniency before the law, and people who are poor and lower caste gets treated badly or unequally by the law of the country. Okay, so therefore there's a equality before law. Now this right to equality also prohibits. Prohibits means it prevents, or it makes sure that there is no discrimination of any people. Now let's say if you that you own a shop, or whether it is a hotel or a restaurant, you are not supposed to, if you are owner of the shop or the restaurant, you are not supposed, or you are not allowed to discriminate certain people on the basis of their gender or caste or creed. Okay, so everyone should get equal access to the, whether it is a shop, restaurant, and anything. So your caste and creed should not be the reason for not getting the access, or not getting the access of the whatever the opportunity lanele tang ojugi khande roji tai dor dini kharse orsna misuraji nele rangi ta khalore homo inere ta ojugi rangi caste inere rangi religion chulu inere what the dege basis karne changla discriminate chiru nele ro ojugi ta mixing dong appearance the skin tone the dele ro. Therefore, everyone should get equal opportunity in terms of employment. Employment in any government subsidiary in and everyone should get equal opportunity. Right? In terms of education in everyone should get equal opportunity. Now, the core message of the right to equality is that everyone should be treated equally. No one should get discriminated on the grounds that on the grounds of his religion, caste, or creed. Those is a message for the and since India is there's also according to the right to equality, there's also a right that abolish the practice of untouchability. Now, India is one of those countries which is deeply rooted in the practice of caste, right? Caste system. There's a lot of incidents where people were treated biased on the basis of their caste. There's a lot of incident that Dalit women were killed and Dalit people were killed because they have tried to get access to the common wealth in a village. So there are a number of incidents where there's a practice of incidents where the Dalits or the lower caste were marginalized in the society. Okay, therefore, and one of the practice was there is a untouchability. The 도르비는 그렇게 was 주주치 나는 뭐지 근데 내주인이 뭐 추워야 low caste just for the chemo 추워야 된다. 또 color touch ni kuzugi shadow in avoid share the practice mangoji 이만이 야나 뭐 다르데 오 딘제 든조 방자에 right to equality 기 메오스로 라 상말라 톱단치 빠지나지 다디 딱 먼저기 right to equality 먼저기 디버스 삼세체